Ah yes, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The sequel to a game about a young adult who suffers from severe amnesia and is small, like really small. He goes around his kingdom while trying to save his pretty princess from one giant evil redhead. I think that summary was too brief. Now look, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom non-stop, and what I can say is, buy this game right now, you will have the time of your life. But in all honesty, this game is one of the best games I've played hands down. It's just so beautiful. I'll try making this video as spoiler free as I can as to not ruin your experience. Before the game came out, many people thought, except for me, that the game wasn't going to be as good as its predecessor. But this game makes Breath of the Wild look like a demo. In the trailers, Nintendo showed less than a fifth of the gameplay. Like before you got your hands on the game, did you think you would be able to have a Korok cookout? As the sequel to its Game of the Year winning predecessor, it must be able to at least hold equivalent or more content to truly deserve the title of a sequel. And I'm glad to tell you that this game is essentially Breath of the Wild, but multiplied by 3. Wow, my teacher was correct. Math can be used in real life. Let's first start with the new things in the game. Now, as we all know, when a sequel is made, there are bound to be new improvements and content added to the game. In the previous game, Link traveled Hyrule with a bunch of tricks up his sleeve. Some of the main mechanics Link used while crossing the 15 regions of Hyrule were the runes. Now, each one gave Link a different skill. Magnesis allowing him to move metallic objects, Cryonis allowing him to create ice platforms on water, Stasis stopping a thing's motion, remote bombs being explosive, and lastly, Camera allowing you to take pictures of everything you see. You do also get an additional rune, which is the Master Cycle, if you bought the Final Trial DLC. However, in the new game, you are essentially given the same runes but repackaged into different forms. Stasis is replaced by Recall, allowing you to rewind an object of your desire. Magnesis replaced by Ultra Hand that allows you to manipulate any object and stick objects together. Cryonis replaced by Ascend, another movement-based rune allowing you to, in the name, ascend to another plane above you. Remote bombs got totally removed and instead replaced by Fuse, another damage-applying based ability that allows you to fuse anything, and I mean anything, to your weapons. For example, you can create a pepper shield. Have you ever thought of that? And finally, the fan favorite Master Cycle, which was replaced by Auto Build. I'll go more in depth about Auto Build later in the video. As you can see, most of these runes are pretty complex, especially Ultra Hand and Fuse, which is why I'd like to dedicate this upcoming segment to both of these lovely runes that have helped me create weird and wacky things. Ultra Hand, or how I like to call it Magnesis Deluxe, is in my opinion the most useful rune, as it allows you to move any item of your choice and stick it to something else. You can create bridges, longer bridges, cars, bikes, and even a torture machine. When you pick an item up using Ultra Hand, you're able to rotate it. If you want to stick it upside down, you can. If you want to rotate it to make your creation symmetrical, you can also do it. And you can also use all of these to create your trash. At first, when I saw Fuse being used, I was kinda skeptical. Like, would this work with everything, or is it limited to some stuff? Well, I was wrong. You can do it on anything and everything. Wanna fuse bananas to your sword? Which would honestly do nothing. But do you want to? Yes, you want to? Well, you can! When you use Fuse, didn't mean for that to actually sound like a pun. Some items add bonus effects, such as basic damage increases and other elemental effects. If you fuse weird blue looking slime to an arrow, it causes the shot to gain a water element. Look, now you're probably wondering, but yes, Tears of the Kingdom has a new element, which is water. It only had fire, electric, and ice, but did we really need a water element? Because water and ice are technically the same thing? But the main question still is, did we really need the water element? These runes are pretty compatible with each other. For example, when I was trying to get on a high ledge, I used Ultra Hand and Recall. I don't have any footage, so I'll be showing you my lovely presentation skills. So what I did was, I strategically used Ultra Hand to move a metal plate to the top of the ledge. Then I moved the plate back to me. After that, I then used Recall and jumped on the plate before the plate recalled back to the edge of the mountain, resulting in me getting up to an area that I couldn't climb. We finished talking about the runes, but don't you worry folks, there's more new things for us to talk about. We could talk about the graphical changes, the map differences, the quests, the builds you can make, the boss fights. We could even talk about the lovely Koroks that we so ever dearly love and would be traumatized if they burned to their wooden bodies turned to ash. So yeah, as you've just heard me say, Koroks are back. Yay. Remember how there were 900 Korok seeds to be found? Yeah, well, add 100 more to that. But look, it still is essentially the same amount to be found, since they've added a new type of Korok puzzle. The puzzle is pretty much the usual bring something to this place type quest. The game is like, oh my god, is that a little Korok who can't move? Yeah. Well, why don't you just carry him in your plane and take him to his friend? Why? Well, you just have to, bro. That's just how the game works. But I don't wanna. Well, you need to take him right now, or I'll kill you. Obviously in the game, not in real life. Obviously, bro. Why would I do that to someone? No, just in the game, bro. Like, instead of carrying all those things, why don't you just leave them back at your home? Oh wait, is this your home? This water's so good. I love water. Delicious. Now you're all probably screaming this at me. Why haven't you talked about the most important thing in the game? Okay, chill bro, I'll talk about the cooking right now. Well yeah, the cooking, it hasn't changed that much. You take the items and you put them in the pot, and then you make the food. Yahoo! Hold up Mario, this is the wrong game. Uh-oh, got to go. Oh well. As I was saying, it hasn't changed except for two things, the addition of Link's humming and the recipe catalog. At first, when I heard Link's humming while waiting for the food to finish, I thought someone was in my room, which scared the hell out of me. The recipe catalog is as it sounds, a recipe of the last things you've made using a certain ingredient. I've never used the catalog, as I'm the type of person to hold random ingredients and throw them. Now, imagine there was a game where you could build whatever you want, whether it's a car, a bike, a plane, a tank, or a house. Well, you can do it all in Tears of the Kingdom. The building is by far the most complex and fun thing to do in this game. With the use of Ultra Hand, you can grab and stick anything you want to another object. While playing the game, you find these gacha machines that give you these mechanical items that help you create things that you couldn't have without them. You want a laser? Here you go. Want a cannon? Here you go as well. This game's mechanical aspect holds many possibilities. Here's the contraption I tried making, which failed sadly. So what it was supposed to do was spin the fans, resulting in it flying sort of like a ceiling fan. Now, if you guys remember at the start of the video, I mentioned the auto build rune. This rune works in tandem with building, as once you finish a creation, you can save it and create it again. But you'll obviously lose something in return. The thing you lose is a grindy item, but if you're like me, after Nintendo released the trailers for the game, people were hating on the game mainly because the maps seemed similar. Well, I honestly don't know why they were mad, since the game is a sequel set in the same place. So if you put 2 and 2 together, it'll obviously look the same. But don't you worry folks, the map has changed. But not that much, since this is still Hyrule Kingdom. Now this is mwah. The sky part of this game is amazing. You got the white and yellow trees next to the yellow grass, a bunch of weird looking structures, hidden items, and a nice look at the 3 dragons. Wait, no, it's 4? Okay. And a nice look at the 4 dragons. By far, the depths are the most eerie part of this game. If you don't know what the depths are, they're basically the area under Hyrule, which is why it's called the depths. Just the creepy feeling like something's watching you as you walk through a forest of mushrooms. If you take time traveling the depths, you could find cool items that used to require amiibos in Breath of the Wild, but now they don't. Talking about cool items, this game comes packed with new cosmetics. Want to become a bird? I recommend the glider suit. Want to become a fish? The Zora armor is back. And if you're feeling real edgy, here's the depth set. The story in this game is about trying to find Zelda because she just disappeared in thin air, like literally. You need to track all the last places she's been last seen in order to save her. You'll be going around visiting all the parts of Hyrule that you've visited before, but for some reason they look different. You go around looking for tracks with old friends, saving their villagers as well from a certain crisis. A mysterious red-headed figure seems to be the cause of all this destruction. Will you save Hyrule, or will you not? Why don't I make this sound like a basic fantasy story? In this game, there are some stuff that have been reused, but they still feel new. The shrines of Breath of the Wild have been reskinned and turned into new shrines that in my opinion look way cooler than the old ones. Just the green and the white and the gray, they all just look so good together. Like it's an amazing combination, you know what I mean? Now, the way to acquire more space is still the same. You need to gather Korok seeds by finding Koroks. Yay, lovely Koroks. Now, this one is pretty amazing. You can buy a house just like in the old game, but this time you can actually customize it fully. You can buy parts from this dude and just ba-bam, make whatever you want. Like look at this weird house I've made. The Divine Beasts have been deleted out of the game and been replaced with dungeons, which were really fun. The bosses at the end were enjoyable, especially the Gerudo village boss and the Rito village boss. Just so you know, you can do any of the bosses in any order you want, just like in the last game. In my playthrough, I did the Zora, then the Rito, and then the Goron, and then after that, the Gerudo. The graphics, as you can see, have changed. The game looks more beautiful and sharper than it was in Breath of the Wild, especially the lighting, sky, and colors. Just look at this scene. Doesn't it just make you look at it in disbelief? Like, damn boy! There are other slight graphical changes. For example, the fire texture got an update. Now the music is just so elegant. Just listen, please. This is just so calming and just makes me want to go out and just jump. For some reason, I just jump. I don't know why. I just want to jump. You know what I mean? Now on to my final thoughts. This game is amazing, you should buy it.